How small do you want pepper?
Let me see. So we are back. Tiny. Very tiny. Yeah, yes. Smaller than that. Yes. Smaller than that. So yeah, so we are back. Live. Just wait for more people to join because this is the interesting part and I don't want you to skip any step. Again, like I said in explanation, I don't sell meat pies. I don't intend to sell meat pies. So there's no trade secret that I can hide. I will tell you everything. So let's wait for more people to join. While we are waiting to get to about 700 people, any questions? Do you have any questions from the pastry video? So we're going to do this in 3 sessions. Session 1 has gone and I've shared it to story. I'm really hoping that you can share session 2 to story as well. I don't know, so I guess we'll have to find out. Because it will be really painful if you are only allowed to share one live session. That means that where the work really is, if you missed it, you missed it. So just nothing. Heat up oil. Just add a little onions just to season the oil. So I'm putting my phone down now because I need my 2 hands to add the spices in, but I'll tell you what I added in. So just give me a few seconds. So I'm just adding the spices in. Oh, this smells amazing. This smells incredible. So it's just curry, thyme, white pepper. Because I saw bay leaves here. So curry, thyme, white pepper. While I don't like bay leaves in jollof rice, I love it in meat pie. Very weird, but it is what it is. So hold on. So curry, thyme, white pepper. I'll add a little bay leaves because I'm very sure, almost to a certainty, that they add bay leaves to Mr. Big's meat pie. It was the one flavor that makes Mr. Big's meat pie taste different from every other person's own. I think it's bay leaves because when I make this with bay leaves, it just reminds me of Mr. Big's. So hold on. Curry, thyme, white pepper. So I'm still here. I'm just curry, thyme, white pepper. Add some seasoning. Yeah, dry bay leaves. You will take it out at the end, but I always add at the beginning because I think that was why Mr. Big's meat pie was so different from all this everybody who makes meat pie. So let me just. I'm still here. So look at the carrots for a bit. I'm trying to get out the paper off the seasoning cube. So I'm sweating down the onions or sauteing the onions with spices. Curry, thyme, white pepper. Dry pepper is optional, right? Because I'm going to be adding some chili in it. I would decide if I want to add dry pepper. If you don't have like fresh rodo, dry pepper, cayenne pepper, smoked paprika, that kind of thing are the things that you add. So I'm just seasoning the oil, and already I told you guys that I think bay leaves is the thing. Already the bay leaves have softened, and it's like I'm sitting down in Mr. Big's right now, smelling Mr. Big's meat pie. I think it's the bay leaves. I think it's, even though it's just one that I added, I can smell it. I can smell it already. So you can use smoked paprika, you can use Old Bay seasoning, whatever it is. I just use these 3. Sweat out the onions. Oh, I wish you can smell this. Wow, I wish you can smell this. Like wowza, smells really good. So let me get a knife. So no knife. Spoon. Come back. So yeah, so just saute the oil with the onions. Did I just say saute the oil? Saute the onions in oil on low heat. Allow the spices to develop, and then you can now add your ground beef. In America, it's called ground beef. In Canada, it's called ground beef. In the UK, we call it mince meat, which mince whatever, meat mince or whatever. So let me add the ground beef to it. I hope if you are making yours along with me, it's time to get out your ground beef. Ground beef is just simply minced meat. Oh, this looks so fresh. So this is from Fresh Market. So this is about 2 pounds of ground beef. I'm also going to make chicken pie as well, so we're going to be making both of them at the same time. So while the ground beef is frying, we'll start on the chicken pie. So Amazon is not an essential item right now. If I try to order it on Amazon, it was giving me a delivery time of like end of April. Nah, it's not essential, so I understand. So I've added the ground beef. You have to be very careful when you're making anything that has ground beef in it, because it gets dry pretty fast. So you have to be really careful. I always don't cook ground beef on high heat. Cook it, because again, it's not like you're making like a hamburger or something, right? You can like flash cook it and everything, but this is not a hamburger. This is meat pie or meat pie filling. So my bay leaf is still there. I don't use high heat for ground beef. I use medium heat, because what I'm trying to do is to cook it slowly, because let it absorb the flavor. If you're worried that the oil is not enough, no, it's too early to tell that the oil is not enough. So just continue. That's why you have to fry it on low heat. If you fry it on high heat, it will burn before it had time to absorb all those flavors. So don't just low heat. Stir it gently until the meat turns from pink to light brown. You want your meat pie to be juicy. You want it to be dripping. You don't want sorry, pepper got into my nose. You don't want it to be dry. So low heat. You can see also mince has its own, it's beef anyways, it has its own liquid in it. So you want it to be moist, you don't want it to dry up. Just gently. Yeah, you see somebody saying that she tried to order a tripod. Amazon said May first, so they still delivered it. That's interesting, no? Amazon said May first, and I'm like, no. I'm surprised. It's not an essential item. So some things that are not food items or essential items, Amazon is not prioritizing at the moment. So I'm frying my mince. I think I want to add more because I have a lot of ingredients here. Oh, sorry. I'm making chicken pie, so let me split my ingredients into two. I had forgotten. So yes, so you fry it gently on medium heat. I don't like using high heat for mince because it will burn before it's even had enough time to. Fantastic, thank you so much. Oh, can I have another batch, please? This one not enough for chicken pie as well. You see that at the beginning, it was as if, this meat is too much for the oil. See what has happened now. You don't want your meat pie to be to be dripping and soaking in oil. That's like yuck. So low heat, gently stir it. You don't want it to get dry. So by the time you see that it's practically almost cooked, yes, it's going to get a little lumpy. That cannot be helped. You can still break that down later on, so don't worry about that. So you fry it low heat. You see, when we first started, it was like This oil is not enough. Oh. Can you see now that there's more than enough oil in it? So don't be tempted to add too much oil. Let it fry. You don't rinse minced meat, oh. Who said you should not rinse the meat? Rinse minced meat, okay? No. You don't rinse minced meat, oh. It's like saying you're trying to rinse corned beef. I mean, seriously. Now that the meat has cooked, what I do first is I taste it. I taste to be sure that the seasoning is okay. Okay, so I'll just take a little bit and taste it. Yes. I can get that Mr. Big's flavor coming through already. Okay. Hold on. So I've added, as I said, I don't like really adding dry pepper to meat pie. I prefer fresh pepper. So that this is green chili and red chili. I'll add carrots as well. I don't like adding peas, but I still like some green stuff in meat pie. I think peas. The reason why I don't like peas is because it gets your meat pie waterlogged, and there's only so much you can season peas. Unlike with potatoes, or you can season with oil, onions, and salt. You can only season peas when you're making mushy peas. So I just take it out. But I still like to see some green things there because food for me is very nostalgic. So if it looks like something that I'm used to eating or I've eaten before, that makes me happy. You guys know already. Dooney loves to eat. So I've added some carrots. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit. So what I want is for the juices of the mint to infuse into. I'll add more onions too as well, just because I'm a lover of onions. I love my onions. See how beautiful that looks. So here we go. See how gorgeous that looks. Who was laughing at the person asking to rinse meat? We weren't laughing. No, I was just shocked that no, you don't rinse minced meat, please. It's like trying to rinse corned beef. I prefer green chili to green bell peppers, but if you have green bell peppers at home, that is fine as well. So I don't like when I'm eating meat pie and the carrot is very crunchy. I'm not a fan at all. So I'm still frying the carrots. I've added more onions just because I wanted more onions. You don't add the potatoes now because you've already boiled the potatoes, remember? So if you add the potatoes now, it will overcook and it will not turn to mush. So don't add the potatoes now. You can make it without potatoes, it's fine, but you will not get that Mr. Big's consistency without potatoes because potatoes add moisture to your meat pie filling. So without potatoes, it will be dry. There's nothing it will be dry. So now that it has fried properly, I'm going to add water. You're probably going to say, do you need water? Yes, water. So let me go get a cup of water. I'll be right back. Again, the reason why you are adding water, right, is because right now, anybody who is cooking this at the same time as I am, is taste your mince right now. It will be lovely, it will be crunchy, but that's not what you want. You want it to be moist. And to introduce some moisture, I'm going to taste this again. Let me get a spoon, hold on. So introduce some moisture, and to ensure that the carrots boil properly, you add some water. But oh yes, oh my goodness, wow. So anybody who's cooking it right now, your mince will taste crunchy. You don't want that. So you add some water just to reconstitute it a little bit. So you add some water and then you continue cooking it. In this time as well, you can mash up those extra chunky bits. You have to add water. You let the minced meat absorb the water. By the time the water has reduced in the pan, you taste it and you see, I can see what Duni was saying. All my tips have a reason behind them. So you add water and then just let it cook, let it absorb flavor. It's very, very important. Another thing that annoys me when I eat meat pie that I did not make is crunchy meats. That just no. If I can tell if there's a sharp contrast from the filling to the pastry, then you've lost me with meat pie. I like it to be just one whole yummy moist morsel that you like, yes, and you wash it down with something cold. So you have to add water. So you add water because you want to soak the mince and get rid of that crunchy texture. So you have to add water. And water also helps the carrots to boil. Like, look at how amazing this looks. Yeah. Thank you. Somewhere. A plate. So I would leave this on low heat because there's no point just looking at it. And then we will start the filling for chicken pie. So I have a pan on the other burner. So I'll leave this on low heat. And thank you so much. And then we'll start on chicken pie. You don't add the potatoes now because the potatoes are going to overcook and they will turn to mush. So don't add the potatoes now. Some people say, make another mistake I have tasted in other people's meat pie is they add raw potatoes to this mixture. Hell to the flipping no. Because what you do is when you add raw potatoes to this mixture is that you're going to leach the starch from the potatoes into your minced mixture, and that will just taste gross. Not just that, no matter how long you cook this mince, and you also remember that meat pie only takes about 20 minutes to bake, the potatoes do not get soft enough. There's nothing that annoys me like eating hard potatoes inside meat pie. Like, why? Carrots don't take that long to cook. So it's okay to add fresh carrots, but please do not add fresh raw potatoes into this mix. No, boil it in water. Let the starch of the potatoes leach into the water. Strain out the potatoes and chop it. You chop it. See that it's already soft. So don't add the potatoes now. Please don't add. And that's also the reason why I said that you have to season your potatoes very early on in the beginning, because it's not going to have enough time to soak up flavors from here. So your potato, only me can sit down and eat all this because the potato has been well seasoned with salt, with onions, with vegetable oil. So there's no need to add it early to absorb flavors here. It will have enough time to absorb flavors after you add it later on, and also while the meat pie bakes. Every component of meat pie that I make with meat pie must have flavor. The carrots must be delicious. Potato delicious, the chili, the onions, the mince. It's a marriage of flavors. So while this is, let me taste this carrot now that fell on the carrot that ordinarily is bland. Like, I can't stand eating carrots raw. Yeah, maybe in salads and it has like delicious dressing on it. So the carrot already tastes really, really nice. I know in a lot of recipes that I have seen, people don't add water to the mince. That's why my recipe is different from other people. I add water to my mince. So now let's start on chicken pie. Taste it, it's so good. So let's start on chicken pie now. Oh yes. Wow. So if you want to be sure that you're on the right track while you're waiting for the mince to cook, just take a spoon and then taste the stock. Yes, please. No, not the mince, and take a spoon so you can hear the mince and the sauce at the same time. That is fire. It's good. Like Mr. Biggs. See, my friend here says it's like Mr. Biggs. Is that baby? So let me put this mince back in the fridge because I have Italian meatballs to make for the kind. Sorry? Rice. We bought plenty mince, so I think another mince. So now let's start on chicken pie. So I've turned down like you need to taste. I wish you can taste. It's like Mr. Biggs. So I've turned down the heat now. There's another pan. I have chicken breast here. So we are going to make the filling for chicken pie as well. Let me add vegetable oil to that pan and then we start. Okay, so vegetable oil to the pan and then we start. So let me check while we are waiting for the oil here to heat up. No, you cannot use buttermilk because buttermilk is acidic. So there's no need. You don't need any acidic taste here at all. So buttermilk is a no. Okay. So while I'm waiting for the oil to heat up, I would again season it with some onions. I'll get extra onions as well. Like it's like Mr. Biggs. It's like Mr. Biggs. Delicious. So you can see now that the water content is reducing. So in chef terms, which I learned from Food Network, is you reduce a sauce. So what we are doing right now is we are reducing the sauce. For a lot of recipes I've seen, they don't do this water stage. It's why my meat pie tastes like Mr. Biggs meat pie. That moistness is. I have tried meat pie from so many vendors. Believe me, it's laziness because that makes me not make meat pie regularly. But anyways, so yeah, so seasoning, sauteing the onions. So let me season this pan like I did at the beginning. For those who missed out on how I got to here, just watch this. Is that your boss? Okay. So just watch this one. It's the same thing. I'll just be doing chicken breast instead of mincemeat. So hold on. Let me season it. So again, curry, thyme, white pepper, bay leaves. I don't use bay leaves in jollof rice, funny enough, but I use it in meat pie. I don't like bay leaves in jollof at all, but I use it in meat pie. So curry, thyme, white pepper. I'm looking for white pepper. Where was it? I used it like 5 seconds ago. Hold on. I'm still here. I'm just looking for my white pepper. I'm just looking for my white pepper. It was at my nose 10 seconds ago. I don't know where I kept it. Okay, here. It was behind me. So curry, thyme, white pepper. So just season the oil, curry, thyme, white pepper, bay leaves. So just let your mince reduce. Go do something else. While the mince is reducing, just go do something else. You can also make this sauce for white rice. You can use it for yam. I'm making creamy Italian meatball sauce for a client. So maybe if I'm in a generous mood that day, I'll do a live session of creamy Italian meatball sauce. And one of the reasons why I do or season mince so well is Food Network. Food Network has really helped me perfect my meatball skills. So I will season. So I'm seasoning the oil. So let's check on this again. Do you have any stock cubes? Season stock cubes. I use stock cubes. Okay, so chicken breast now. So yes, we add So you can see now that the mince is now plump. It has plumped up because it has absorbed water. And if I taste it and it is still crunchy, I'll add more water again. My cooking is a labor of love. For those of you who joined my jollof class, my jollof rice takes 3 hours. So you can never hurry me when it gets to food, because that's how my grandmother used to cook. She always took her time, and the longer you cook, the more you are building flavors together. So if you make stew from my grandmother in 45 minutes, you will chop slap. As in major slap, you will chop. So that's how I learned how to cook. It takes time for the magic to happen. So let's go here. And then chicken breast. Now chicken breast is even more delicate than mince, because chicken breast goes dry like this very fast. So you have to cook chicken breast on really low heat to develop the flavors. And then with chicken breast, I don't add too much water, because chicken breast it's already what do you call it? It will get, again, it's chicken. You can't compare the integrity of chicken to beef. So we will do the water state for chicken as well, but not too long, because the longer you cook chicken breast, if cooking it will get dry. Chicken breast gets dry very, very, very fast. So you must not it's like seafood. You must not overcook chicken breast. So yeah, so I will still do the water stage as well, but I will not cook chicken breast for too long, because you can see already it has started cooking. So chicken breast, because it doesn't have that much fat inside of it, it gets dry very, very fast. So because chicken breast gets dry very, very fast, I add the carrots almost immediately, just so that I will not be forced to cook the chicken breast longer than I need to. So I'm adding all the ingredients almost immediately. Hold on. I'm looking for my onions. Where did I put it? Hold on. I'm still here. So I want to get more onions, just because I like onions. So I want to get more onions and slice it into the chicken breast. So give me a few seconds. So with chicken pie, just because chicken breast gets dry very fast, I add the ingredients almost at the same time. Otherwise, I will overcook the chicken breast and it will get dry. So let me just add. I'm chopping onion. That's why you cannot see me. I need my 2 hands to chop onions. So I'm chopping onions. I'm adding to the chicken breast. I've turned down the heat as well, so that it doesn't overcook. Overcooked chicken breast is always dry. And before I started watching Food Network and paying attention to things like overcooking protein, I didn't think it used to matter until I started to do it the Oyinbo way, and I realized that I can see what all these Food Network chefs are talking about chicken breast being too dry. So I've switched tactics now. You can see that unlike with the mince, where I let it fry before I added the other ingredients, with chicken breast I don't do that. I add it very early on in the beginning, just so that it doesn't overcook. I will add some water now as well. Can you see how beautiful that looks? I'll add some water now as well. Turn the heat up. Can you see that, how beautiful that looks? The chicken breast is still partly raw, which is what you want, so that by the time it's done cooking, the carrots that looks beautiful, doesn't it? The carrots have partly cooked. So we have 2 lovely things going on right here, side by side. Yes, don't worry that I'm using the same spoon for chicken and beef. We are in the same house. We don't have any food allergies. So, or you know what, just for niceness sake, let me go and get another spoon. Hold on. Okay, so let's give it its own spoon. So here's chicken breast, and here is minced meat, slowly reducing. My food takes time. it is what it is, because the longer you cook it, the longer you give it flavors time to develop. If you are making like a chicken curry or something, it's again still the same process. See, my bay leaves are there nicely. The chicken is still raw. Please do not taste it right now, because the chicken is still partly raw. You don't want food poisoning. Like, salmonella is real, guys. So please don't taste it right now, so you don't get food poisoning. Salmonella is real. Don't taste it. If you've done your seasoning properly, you should be fine. So while we are waiting for these two things to cook, because I'm not adding, you can see that I haven't added the potatoes. It is deliberate. Imagine if I had added the potatoes since, it would have turned to mush. It is deliberate why I haven't added the potatoes. So the chicken is cooking. That looks amazing. The mince is cooking as well. I wish you can taste this. Like, oh my gosh, it's like Mr. Big's meat pie. So yes, so chicken is, yes, I know that people use shredded chicken for meat pie. I don't like it. I want my meat pie, my chicken pie chunky. I do not like shredded chicken in chicken pie at all. So I use chunky chicken breasts. I'm cooking it. So I'm cooking it. I'm still not going to taste it yet, because I can see that the chicken is still partly raw. Can you see? Salmonella is real, guys. Don't taste it now. You can see it's partly raw. It's partly raw. Raw. Dry pepper is optional. You can use dry pepper if you want to. I just prefer the freshness of chili. You can see that the water here is almost dry. Let me taste my mince to be sure, because I don't want to get any crunchy. If I feel like it's still crunchy, it's not that. Oh my gosh, it's not that crunchy. It's now moist and tender, and that's it. So here we go. Chicken filling. I may cut down the chicken breast pieces a little more, just a little more, but oh, I love that. I can taste it now. I can see that the chicken breast has cooked. There's no raw chicken. Let me just check one more time, because I can't afford to get sick. There's no raw chicken here, so I can taste the liquid. Oh my gosh. Girl, well done. That is sensational. Yes, good. So I will turn down the heat, because now the chicken has it's almost, you see, it's getting firm, right? So I'll turn down the heat, and then let's make some creamy magic. You see, one of the reasons why you see that the water has practically dried up, one of the reasons why we love Mr. Big's meat pie is that creamy feeling. And I used to wonder that how. Then one day I was watching, I think it was Nigella Lawson or Ina Garten. I love both of them. And she was making, it was Nigella. Nigella was making fish pie. The British fish pie, the reason, as much as I like anything that is pie based, one of the reasons why I cannot stand British fish pie is because they use milk or cream, which is lach, as far as I'm concerned. So instead of cream or milk, I'm going to mix flour with water, and then we're going to add it to this and continue cooking. So give me a few moments. Let me get water to drink myself, and then go get flour and water. We'll mix it with this so we can get a really creamy consistency, and then we're good. So hold on, let me just get flour and water. This is good though. Oh, like, wow, this is really good. So I'm still here. I'm just trying to get water to drink. I've been talking for almost more than an hour now. My throat is parched. I'll get water to drink. I'll also... Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, wow. Hold on. I'm still here. You can see that I haven't added the potatoes. It is deliberate. The potatoes will overcook. You do not want them to overcook. I also want to check on the carrots. Cooked properly. Yes. Boom! The carrots have cooked properly. You can see both of them. I know, right? I have tasted this meat like 5 times. Like 5 times. This is so good. I will finish the meat before I even make meat pie. So I'm going to get flour. I've gotten a bottle of water to drink now. So I'm going to get flour and water. Now you can use milk if you want to. I just don't. I prefer flour and water. Definitely. And also ensure that by the time you get your flour and water, right, you still have some fluid left in the pan. Do not let this meat get completely dry. Don't, please. You will not like it. Make sure you still have some fluid in the pan. Then you get flour and water, and then, like now, you see there's still so much liquid in this one. If I feel like this means this one is too wet or is too watery, it's not hard. I will just decant some of the juice inside here. Again, it's the same house. We don't have any allergies, so it's fine. You can add flavors. Because again, I used chicken seasoning for this one, so it still doesn't matter. Let me just get flour and water. I'll be right back. I'm tasting the chicken again. Oh my god! I know only me can sit down and eat. Oh, that is so good. And it is. Let me get water, flour, water. I'll be right with you. Yummy. So you mix flour with water. About 3 tablespoons of flour. And give me a few seconds to appreciate my chicken. I'm going to take another bite of chicken. Sorry. Open your mouth and join me. Let me eat it. That chicken is so delicious. Really moist, really tender. Oh, flour and water. That gives you that creamy feeling. There's nothing as disappointing as just something. See, nothing special. Let me just mix it. As dry meat pie. That's such a shame. So flour and water. So 3 tablespoons. It's just imagine you're making a curry, because anybody who's made curry before. No, you can use coconut milk as a thickener, or you can use flour and water. My mother doesn't really like coconut milk for curry. So I always use flour and water. So just think of it like you're making a curry for like Sunday rice. American tribals, we are making jambalaya tomorrow. Lord help me, let me sleep early. Since it's Easter Sunday, taste that chicken. It's so good. So I'm just mixing. You don't want any lumps, so I need to mix this properly. You don't want any lumps. So I'm mixing the flour to get out any lumps. You do not want any lumps in this. So now you can, while I'm mixing the flour, since I'm almost done, right, I will now add, sorry. So I can now add the potatoes, but let me mix the flour and water, because potatoes are really soft already. No, I'm just sniffling because it's quite spicy, which is what I like. I love my meat pie to have some kick to it. That way I can eat 10 and not be, you know how you eat some people's meat pie. No shade though. After 1 piece, you're already bored. No, the pepper keeps my taste buds alive. It keeps them interested. So only me can eat all this. Trust me. I like food too much, which I can see that you can tell already. So you make sure you mix the flour and the water till it gets to about like this. If it's too thick, what will happen is when you add it to this, it will congeal immediately. So make sure it is quite runny. Make sure you get out all the lumps. If it's too thick, it should be at the consistency of as if you are trying to make ogi. I know that's not a very good parallel to draw because not everybody makes ogi. But look at this is the consistency you should be looking out for. I'm trying to lose weight though. I used to be a size 6. Lord help me. Oh. Before I started Dooneys Kitchen, I was skinny cocoa. Now my mouth won't stop moving. Always busy. So you add the mixture. You add a little, and then you add the potatoes as well. And you see, that's why I said that if you make it too thick, it will congeal immediately. Can you see? It's congealing already, but not immediately. So I will add even more flour mixture, and then now I can add. If it congeals too much, don't fret, just add water. Can you see that creaminess? Can you see that creaminess? So you also have to cook out the flour so that you don't get, what do you call it? Nobody likes the taste of raw flour. So now I will add the potatoes, just a little, and I'll add some water as well. Hold on, let me go get water. Hold on, let me go get water. You don't want you want your mixture creamy, but you don't want it too wet, because if it is too wet, what will happen is that it will give your meat pie what is called a soggy bottom, where it will make the bottom of the meat pie very soggy, which is nasty. So turn down the heat. You add the potatoes. The potatoes as well, they are going to serve as a thickener. So this is too thick. Let me add a little extra water. That's why, imagine if I had made the flour mixture too thick from the beginning, it would have turned to eba by now. So I've added a little water. Just a little water. The potatoes also serves like a thickener. That's why you don't add the potatoes. Can you see how creamy that is? I'm going to add a little more water. Just look at how creamy. So you're not making a curry. You're making like a paste. Because if it's too wet or it's too liquidy, what will happen is in your meat pie, it will make the bottom soggy. You also want to make it creamy enough that it retains its moistness. Otherwise, it will look creamy right now, and then by the time you bake it in the meat pie, it will now dry out. Your meat pie, when you press it down, it should be oozing. It should be oozing with creaminess. So make sure it's not too thick, but make sure it's not too watery as well. Can you see how beautiful that looks? Just imagine this. Can you see how look at how creamy that looks. So I still think it's a little too thick, but instead of adding more water, this one is too watery, so I'll add more liquid from here. So hold on, I need 2 hands. So I've added more stock, just a little more stock. Here we go. Here we go. That's it. This is what they're looking for. The reason why you still need some water here is that, in the time that it's going to take to roll your meat pie dough and everything, this thing will congeal and to become a solid glob of mess. So you need to add. Oh, that is it. Is this giving you Mr. Biggs vibes already? Like, can you guys respond? Like, are you thinking Mr. Biggs already? Is this giving you Mr. Biggs vibes already? Yes or no? Is this giving you Mr. Biggs vibes already? Can you see how? Is this giving you? Nobody's answering me. Oh, is this giving you Mr. Biggs vibes already? That creamy feeling. That creamy feeling. This is how it is done. Can you see? Can you just see? Look at that. This is Mr. Biggs meat pie. So by the time I'm turning down the heat now because there's no need. Yes, flour doesn't take that long to cook, right? Residual heat from the pots, from the pan, and the contents in the meat pie will cook the flour. The flour as well will also cook inside the oven while it's baking. So you don't want to cook this for too long, otherwise it will get dry. So this guy, is this giving you Mr. Biggs vibes already? You know how you break open Mr. Biggs meat pie, and it should just be oozing out. This is it. This is the paste. You also need to let this cool down. Please do not put hot. That's why you need to ensure that there's just enough liquid, because you need this to cool down completely. You do not put hot filling into pastry. It will just soak it and it will be a disaster. So this is the consistency that you are looking for. It must be gooey, it must be creamy. I will taste it now just in case I need to re-season. I don't believe I need to, but I will taste it, because you know this has seasoning inside already, and this was already seasoned. So ooh, just look at that. Oh yes. So the potatoes as well, you see that I added it last. Yes. Oh my goodness, wow. I just add a little smidgen of seasoning, just a little. Oh no, let me get another spoon. Let me go and wash my, so I don't double dip. Let me go and wash my spoon at this again. Hold on. I'm gonna wash the fork. So I've turned off the heat now, so that the pie filling can cool down. Ooh, my word. It's really good. I don't need a little seasoning, no, just a little seasoning, just a little bit, not too much, just to bring up the flavor, just a tad. So again, let me stir it so that you guys can see. Are you getting Mr. Biggs vibes from the filling? You see? Let me taste it again with a clean fork. Hello. Yes. It's a little more seasoning, just a little more. That's it. Here we go. So now, let me finish off the chicken. Let me go get flour and water, and then finish off the chicken. I'm still here. So, you leave this. You cover it so that it doesn't get too dry while it cools down. Don't leave it open, please. Cover it so that it doesn't get too dry. This filling is so good. I'm going back again to go and taste it. Hello. That is wahoo. So let me get water, and then we finish the chicken. We finish the chicken first. So I'll answer your questions, and then we now go to the rolling bits. Unfortunately, I'll see if my friend is free. Her sister is on the phone with her. So, yummy. Yummy. So I'm mixing flour with water so we can finish the chicken. Oh my gosh. What are you doing? You can cook, sir. This is me eating the filling, no? Lord help me. There's going to be anything left to make meat pie at this rate. So I'm adding flour and water. Let me answer your questions in the meantime. I'm going back again to go and taste this filling. That's how good it is. Okay, let me cover it now. Otherwise, I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to sit down with this pan and not do anything. So let me cover it. Kimoju mikuro, like they say in Yoruba. Here you go. I'm tasting it again. So I've covered this. Yeah. So you can ask your questions now. Sorry, that is so rude. Let me finish swallowing so I don't talk and chew at anything. Ask your questions now, and then I'll answer them while we're waiting for this to thicken up. Yes, you can freeze the filling. The only thing I would not really advise, hold on, is that when you freeze it, sorry, I need to sit down. My back is aching me. I apologize. I was standing too long yesterday, so whew. My mother calls this old age. So yes, let me ask your questions now. No, it's not corn flour, it's regular flour. The reason why I don't like corn flour, I'll tell you why. You see, when you're using corn flour for thickening like gravy and stuff, right, you cook it for a while. So you cook out that flour taste, that corn flour taste. But unfortunately with this one, you literally only have, I'm talking 2-3 minutes at the most. So if you use corn flour, again, my palate is very, very sensitive. That's why I don't use eggs in my meat pie dough, for example, because I will taste it. One of my friends is an amazing baker. I still taste eggs in her. I taste eggs in cake. That's how sensitive my palate is. So if you use corn flour, I would the second I bite into that meat pie, I will know, because you've not given the corn flour enough time to cook out. It's like when you're trying to flambe a dish. Flambe is when you use or sorry, not flambe. I apologize. Deglaze. When you deglaze a pan, for example, you use the advice, you use white wine. If you don't cook out the alcohol, your soup or your gravy or your stew or whatever will be tasting like the person is partly drunk. So no, I don't advise corn flour. But you can use it if you want. But some of us have very sensitive taste buds. So while I'm waiting to remove all the lumps, let me read. If you have any questions, please ask it. I will read through and answer. It's advisable. You see why I said that you should cover the pan. You see all these the beads of moisture on the underside of the pan. That will keep that. If you had left the pan open, your meat pie filling will just dry out. You see that lovely gooey creaminess? It will just dry out. So cover the pan and then wait for it to cool down. So let me just finish up the chicken pie, and then by now our dough in the fridge should have rested enough. So let me finish the chicken pie now by simply doing the same thing I did to the meat pie. So the meat pie filling. Oops. Add flour. Can we see how gooey that looks? Beautiful, right? Add the potatoes. The potatoes as well serve as a thickener as well. So you can see now that if I had added the potatoes early enough, the potatoes would have turned to baby food by now. Can you see how creamy that is? Ooh, so this has the flour. So the flour has thickened it too quickly. Not a problem. I will add some water. Hold on. Ooh, see flour at the bottom of the. So I'll add some water. If your mixture is too thick, by the time it gets into the pie filling, it will not get dry. You will not lose all that gooey. Ooh, look at this, all that gooiness. Because I did the same thing for the beef, I will do the same thing for the chicken. Just re-season a smidgen. Okay. Here we go. Can you see how creamy that is? Now, if you're going to make like something like a chicken curry, for example, this is practically the same process. It should just be a little more liquid, or you use coconut milk. My mom likes using flour for chicken curry. I like using coconut milk. Again, personal preference. We argue about recipes all the time. There are some things that she says, yes, you cook it better than me. Yes, rub it in. But there are some things that I still bow down to her mastery. She's big Olajuni after all. So this is, see how thick and gooey that is? That is perfect. Perfecto. Yes, so let me see. Do you have any questions? I want to see how gooey that is. It's a little thick, safe. I will add Don't let me ruin it. Let me add small water. Add everything. It's fine. Because it needs to cool down and I don't want it to be too dry. You can use corn flour, don't get me wrong. I just don't like corn flour in meat pie because unlike if you're using corn flour to thicken a soup or to thicken gravy, you would have to cook that sauce or whatever you're cooking with the corn flour much longer than I do for meat pie. So I will still taste. I don't like the flavor of corn flour. And like I said previously, my taste buds are very sensitive. So I will taste it, and I think it's that's just me personally. Yes, you can use corn flour. I prefer to use flour. So this is the consistency you're kind of going for, but a little thicker than this, because if you're can you see that it needs to congeal a little bit. If your filling is too watery, it will give you something they use on, for those of you who live in England, hi, and you know when they say soggy bottoms on Great British Bake Off, like everybody loves Great British Bake Off. I've not met one person who hates that show. So you don't want to have a soggy bottom. That's where I think I've even added too much water, but you know what, I'll let it thicken again. When it gets colder, it would also congeal more. Do you understand? So don't make it too dry, don't make it too watery. In fact, thank you. Tell me to cover it before I finish eating it, because I'm very sure that I've gone through like a quarter of this meat pie filling. It is so good. It is so good. So let me the ingredients for minced meat, very simple, and things you can find outside anywhere. The mince, oil, onions, spices, red chili, green chili, carrots, potatoes, flour. Nothing, pretty basic really. I don't go highfalutin with meat pie. Like the simpler the better. The simpler the better. Brand of butter in the UK, even Tesco butter, because again, any butter is fine. You're trying to make pastry, you're not trying to make croissant or all those highfalutin French pastries. So any butter, any Asda butter, I tend to use Lurpak. That's just simply because it's a sentimental thing. Lurpak and Kerrygold were what my mother used to bake to bake for us when we were children. So I gravitate towards Lurpak because it's what I remember. Lurpak and Kerrygold, and I love them. But cultured butter that I was saying to you guys like yesterday, it beats Lurpak hands down. The reason why I did not use cultured butter for the meat pie pastry was because I think it's a waste. Like, no. 250 grams of cultured butter is a lot of money when you can use a cheaper butter and get the same kind of result. So this is what you are looking for. In terms of color, in terms of consistency, this is what you're looking for. Just imagine, like, there's no way you make chicken pie or meat pie with a filling that looks this good and it will not be like a 10. Hands down amazing. Like, I don't care how amazing your pastry skills are. I don't care if you went to Cordon Bleu to go and do pastry training. If your meat pie filling is whack, then I'm very sorry. Am I going to easy? Now pastry we go chop, like they say. So concentrate a lot on making a maize balls filling, and then even if you get your dough wrong a little bit, it's fine. We don't eat meat pie for the dough. It's that inside. It's that inside that we want. So it's essentially done now. Let me taste it. Even this tasting is a dangerous something, because I will eat one now not to taste it 5 times. Let me taste that. Can you see how gooey, almost like yam? Oh, sorry, pepper entered my nose. Almost like yam pottage kind of consistency. And you see how creamy that is. That's what you're looking for. You must get this to really get that moist. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. That's really good. That's really good. I can eat this with rice. So you've gotten a bonus. Oh my word. You've gotten a bonus recipe out of this live video, which is, if you're going to make chicken curry, this is it. You just make it more watery than this. That's all. This is it. Yum. Absolutely yum. So let me answer your questions, end this live video so I can share it on my stories, and then we'll now go to part three of the class. Is what's it called? Is rolling out the pastry, and then we can bake it. Okay, any question? Oh my god. Any questions? This is too good. I'm going to add some more potatoes to this one because I don't think it's enough. Hold on. Let me add more potatoes. Yes, I've added more potatoes now. Now I can see it. So tomorrow, if you have chicken at home, instead of the regular Easter jollof rice, so I've added more potatoes now. You know, before I couldn't really see the potatoes in the filling, so I've added more potatoes now. I can see it because you don't want to have too much chicken. You need to get your taste buds interested. Let me taste the carrots as well. By now they definitely should have cooked. Woo! Yes! Carrots have cooked. Everything looks amazing. It's getting thicker now because it's getting colder. So you must ensure that your meat pie your filling is completely cold. If I had enough space in the fridge, I would have put it in the fridge so it can cool faster. But I'm in my friend's house. I'm cooking commercially in her kitchen, so the fridge is full of all kinds of ingredients. So that's a no. So I'm not going to leave it on the cooker to cool down by itself. Like I said, you have to cover it. You're not going to get a cover, otherwise it will get too dry and you lose all the moisture. So let me get a cover and cover the pot, and then I can answer your questions. Cover the pan. Sorry, it's not a pot, it's a pan, a saucepan. So, hey, yes. And then let me sit down for a bit because my back is hurting, and then I can answer your questions. So ask questions now because there's nothing to do at the moment, but ask questions. So let me read your questions. It will soon end. Okay. No, I know we've been here together for almost 6 weeks now, so there's nothing to social distance. No, I didn't season the chicken breast. There was no need to. I seasoned the oil, so there was no need to. Chicken breast can be like fish sometimes, right? You can go over, or you can go under, and you can't taste it to know whether you season it properly. Please do not taste raw chicken breast. Salmonella is real low. Salmonella can kill you. So instead of seasoning the chicken breast, I season the oil instead. Quantity of water and flour. I just use 3 tablespoons of flour with enough water to make a flour water solution. I think there was that one. There's no need to measure that one, because the reason why I don't measure that one is because you know that I didn't measure the minced meat. I didn't measure the chicken breast, so there's no point measuring the flour and water, because different people will have different quantities of chicken breast or minced meat at home, so there's no need to measure in that respect. No, there's no need to measure the ground beef. Just use the quantity that you have at home that you think will make enough meat pie. And if I've ended up using making more dough than the filling that I have, not a problem. I'll put the dough in the fridge now. It can stay for at least up to 4 days, and then make more meat pie as you go. You can also freeze dough as well. Now that the children are, for those of you who have children at home, everybody's at home right now doing the right thing, keeping safe and flattening the curve. You can make batches of dough at home and then make batches of filling as well and put in the fridge. Mommy, I must have called you mommy 5 million times already. Give them work to do. If they are old enough to bake, give them work to do. Let them make their own meat pie. Put it in the fridge, in the oven, and then we're good. So let me yes, I use seasoning cubes in the meat pie season. In the flour, no, but in the filling, yes. Yes, you. By the time I start to roll the dough, or sorry, make the pie. What am I saying? Make the pie. I would remove the bay leaves because nobody wants to chew on bay leaves. As in salmonella, which I'm telling you, it will take you out in less than 3 days. And nobody, you don't want to be going to the hospital right now, so you don't go and catch corona. So please do not taste chicken breast raw. Any chicken raw at all. The seasoning I used in the mince pie is curry, thyme, white pepper, bay leaves, seasoning cubes, of course. I don't cook with salt, so I didn't use salt. Oh, thank you so much, sis Quincy. Thank you. Thank you. No, don't add sugar in the dough. There's no need to. What will happen when you add sugar in the dough is the sugar is going to melt while the meat pie is baking and then ruin all your work. So no sugar, please. I didn't measure spices. I seasoned the mince and the chicken as I would if I was cooking. So I didn't measure in that respect. I'm telling you, buy one get one free. So please don't taste raw seasoned breast, chicken breast, or any chicken at all. Chicken pie, I use the same seasoning as meat pie as well. The same curry, thyme, white pepper, chicken seasoning. For the dough, I used 1 cup. So you need about 3/4 of a cup of water for the dough. So think of it like this, right? 3/4 cup of water for the dough, 1/4 cup of milk. So 3/4 plus 1/4 is equals to 1 cup. So 3/4 cup of ordinary water from the tap, and then 1/4 cup of cold milk. I use salt in the dough. I don't cook with salt, so there's no salt in this. I don't cook with salt. No, the recap of the dough, check my stories. I did a live story. So this one will soon go off and people will really kill me if they're not able to watch this again. So let me end this so that I can share it to stories, and then we'll come back in about 5-10 minutes and then we'll now start to roll the dough. And